Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This special deep dive comes to you from OneCloud Talks, brought to you by OneCloud Consultants. Our mission today, to really give you the inside track on the Zoho Desk Autumn 2025 release. Look, there are over 50 new updates here, and we're not just going to list them. We want to unpack how they're aiming to make customer support, well, more seamless, transferable, and genuinely enhanced. So if you're thinking about software changes or just curious about where efficient service is headed, you're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 50 plus features, it's a lot to take in at once. But digging into the source material, there's a clear strategy emerging. It's really about building this intelligent automation layer on top of everything. So we're going to focus on the heavy hitters, the new AI agents, the workflow stuff, and the mobile updates. Basically, the tools designed to really boost agent productivity and keep customers happy.
Okay, let's unpack this then. And we absolutely have to start with the AI enhancements because this feels like more than just suggestions, right? They're talking actual
Yeah.
AI agents with jobs.
That's exactly it. It's a fundamental shift. These aren't just general bots. They're specialized ZIA AI agents designed for specific tasks that usually needed a human or some pretty complex rules. So the first one they've announced is the support specialist.
Okay, support specialist. What's its role?
Its job is basically handling L1 customer support tickets all by itself. It reads the customer's query, checks it against your knowledge base articles, and then actually crafts and sends a reply.
Wow, okay. So it's not just like linking to an article and hoping for the best. It's analyzing the specific case, finding the relevant info, and generating a response to actually resolve it without it even hitting a human agent's queue. That could really change how you manage L1 volume.
It really could. And then there's the second agent, the resolution expert. This one tackles the knowledge capture side of things after a ticket is closed.
Ah, the resolution summary. That thing agents sometimes forget to write when they're busy.
Exactly. Writing a good summary, the query, the solution, takes time. Often gets skipped. Now, you could set it up so this resolution expert automatically gets assigned to a closed ticket, and it generates that summary, that resolution.
Okay, so knowledge capture goes from being this kind of optional admin task that gets pushed aside to something that's automatic, guaranteed for every resolved ticket.
Precisely. Every single successful interaction can instantly become a usable knowledge asset for the future. And you can automate it too. Set a rule, ticket closes, assign it to the resolution expert, done. Continuous knowledge capture, basically baked in.
Right, so you've got L1 automated and knowledge capture automated. And this intelligence, this generative AI, it's now on mobile too, in the Radar app. That seems crucial for agents out in the field. Summarizing long threads must be a lifesaver.
The mobile side is definitely getting more robust. Yeah, if you get a long email chain on your phone, you can just tap for a thread-level summary instantly. Maybe even more useful is the reply assistance. It drafts suggested replies for you ready to send. You quickly review, maybe tweak it a bit, and send it off. Keeps things moving even when you're not at your desk.
And sticking with knowledge, you mentioned agents can now use ticket threads to create new articles. How does that work?
It's designed to be a really smooth feedback loop. So, say an agent solves a tricky problem, something not in the KB. They can just select that specific thread within the closed ticket, click article generation, and ZIA drafts a new KB article based on that conversation. The agent reviews it, polishes it up, and publishes. So the knowledge base grows organically, driven by actual solutions.
That's smart. But with all this AI, especially generative AI, data privacy is always a concern. How is Zoho handling that? Are they sending data out to third-party models?
That's a critical point, and they've addressed it directly. They're adding a new open source model called Gwen alongside Llama 3.1 to power ZIA. But the key thing for, security and compliance is that this whole LLM system runs entirely within Zoho's own GPU infrastructure. No external data sharing. Your data stays within their environment. That gives administrators a lot more confidence, operationally speaking.
Okay, this next part. Here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because these automation features seem to be replacing stuff that honestly used to require custom coding, like bringing in a developer.
Oh, absolutely. These new ZIA actions and the workflow rules are, they're huge time savers for admins. First up is field extraction. Imagine automatically grabbing key info like a tracking number, maybe an account ID or an exam code, straight from the body of an incoming email, and then using that AI to update the right fields on the ticket.
Okay, hold on. So if I used to write complex deluge scripts to parse emails for specific data, this AI can potentially just do that now through configuration, not code. That completely changes how you'd set things up, makes maintenance way simpler, right?
Exactly. What used to be a mini development project becomes essentially a configuration setting. And alongside extraction, there's field prediction. This one doesn't pull text out, it predicts the right value for a drop-down field. Think priority or category. So ZIA reads the email context, say it mentions algebra and quadratic formula. It could then predict, okay, this ticket probably belongs in the mathematics subject category and select it automatically.
Right, which makes ticket classification much more accurate right from the start. Better routing, cleaner reports, love that. Okay, staying with workflow efficiency agent assignment. What's new with round robin?
They've tweaked the round robin preference to basically eliminate lag. So if an agent's capacity is, say, 30 tickets, the moment they close one ticket, bring them down, the system can instantly assign a new one from the backlog. It prevents those little gaps where an agent is waiting for the next task, keeps them consistently busy and productive. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Moving beyond the agent's immediate workflow, there's a big focus now on self-service too, for both customers and your own employees.
Right, internal support often gets overlooked. How are they making things easier for employees using Desk? Because switching between apps is such a drain.
That's exactly the problem they're targeting with employee self-service. The idea is to embed things like product updates, training materials, even HR knowledge bases directly inside Zoho Desk. So if an internal support person needs to quickly look up a policy or a software guide while helping someone, they don't have to jump between browser tabs. It's all right there. Minimizes distraction.
Makes sense. And for the external-facing knowledge base, the Customer Help Center, what's improving there?
Two key things for making KBs more consistent and powerful. First, KB templates. These are basically preset structures for articles. It helps ensure consistency, avoids that situation where every agent writes articles differently, making the KB hard to navigate. Second, and this is pretty powerful, you can now add custom JavaScript to the Help Center.
Ooh, okay. So you could embed things like analytics trackers or maybe even like a payment widget?
Yeah.
Without heavy coding?
Precisely. Analytics, conversion pixels, payment gateways, things that make the Help Center more dynamic and integrated. Opens up a lot of possibilities for customization and measuring engagement without needing deep development skills.
That's definitely useful for marketing and ops teams. Okay, mobile. We touched on AI, but what about the apps themselves? Seems like more options now.
Correct. They're acknowledging that different businesses have different mobile needs. So for companies with really unique, maybe compliance-driven workflows, they're offering on-demand mobile apps. These are custom-built solutions delivered as an SDK, built specifically for processes the standard apps just don't cover.
And if you don't need fully custom, but need something specific, like for handling complaints.
Yeah, they're starting a mobile app gallery template concept. The first one is a grievance redressal app template, perfect for businesses, especially in regulated industries, that need a standardized way to manage formal customer complaints according to specific rules. It's a ready-made mobile solution for that specific need.
Got it. And a practical point, attachments. They're getting bigger, right?
Yes, finally. The incoming attachment limit is bumped up to 50 millibyte, which is much more realistic for the kind of files customers send today. Bigger images, videos, voice notes, complex PDFs,
Yeah,
much needed.
definitely. Okay, last major area seems to be the ecosystem integrations and developer tools.
Right, connecting Desk smoothly with other tools is key. So new integrations include JetLab, which is big in the software development world for version control. This lets support agents create development issues linked directly from a ticket, sync comments back and forth, better dev support collaboration, and Zoom, letting agents schedule Zoom meetings right from the ticket interface. No more app switching just for that.
And for businesses hitting API limits, the ones doing heavy integrations.
There's a solution now. The API credit mechanism. Basically, if your Editions daily API call limit isn't enough because you're running tons of integrations, you can now purchase additional API credits. So your critical operations don't just stop. It turns an API limit from a hard wall into a manageable cost. Crucial for scaling.
Okay, let's talk usability and accessibility. Sometimes it's the small tweaks here that make the biggest difference day to day for agents.
Couldn't agree more. And there are some nice quality of life improvements. On the customization side, dealing with lots of views can get messy. So first, saved filters. Instead of creating endless temporary custom views, you can now save specific filter combinations within an existing custom view. Keeps things much tidier.
Oh, that's huge. Agents who filter constantly will love that. What about sharing views? Can admins lock them down now?
Yes, custom view permissions. If you, as an admin, create a really important shared view, maybe tracking high-priority tickets for executives, You can now set permissions so other agents can see it, but can't edit or accidentally delete it. Protects those critical dashboards.
Good control. And accessibility seems like a big push, too.
Very much so. Across the Help Center, instant messaging, guided conversations.
Yeah.
Lots of updates. You got the basics like dark light mode, full with options, but also things like reading mask and reading guides for users with specific needs. And one really thoughtful feature for color blindness support is the switch on-off label.
Switch on-off label. How does that work visually?
Think about toggle switches. They usually just use color green for on, gray for off, maybe. This adds a clear label on the toggle itself, an eye indicator when it's switched on and an O when it's off. So it's not relying only on color. It provides a universal visual cue. Really smart.
That is smart. Okay, one last thing for admins onboarding, especially for large teams.
Yep. For Enterprise Edition users, administrators can now invite bulk agents all at once. If you're scaling up fast, adding dozens or hundreds of agents, this massively streamlines getting them into the system, saves a lot of admin clicks.
So let's pull this all together. What does this autumn 2025 release really signify? It feels like a pretty big step towards, well, smarter support.
I think that's the core message. This release is clearly doubling down on AI to handle the repetitive stuff, L1 tickets, the summaries, the data entry, figuring out categories, while also making agents more effective when they are mobile and giving businesses much deeper control over how Desk looks, feels, and integrates. It's about making Zoho Desk the intelligent command center for all your support operations.
Right. And thinking about those AI agents, the support specialists handling L1 cases, it does raise a fascinating final thought for you listening. If AI is increasingly handling those initial contacts and automatically building the knowledge base, how does the role of the human support agent change? What skills become paramount? Is it complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, maybe even configuring these new automations? What's most valuable when humans focus mainly on L2 and beyond?
That shift in required skills.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely the next big conversation we all need to have.
absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Zoho Desk's future. Remember, these powerful features we discussed are available now and can genuinely transform your customer service. If you want to explore how these updates, the AI, the customization, the mobile enhancements could specifically benefit your business, we strongly encourage you to get in touch with OneCloud Consultants. As a certified Zoho partner, they have the expertise to help you implement and optimize Zoho Desk for your unique needs.